Turn on the AC. It's Angel Caruso.
Hello and welcome back. I don't have any interest in the Venom franchise after the second one. The first one was just okay. The second one was horrific. When I saw the trailer for the third one, and I just thought, how has this got a trilogy? I have no idea why money keeps getting ploughed into this franchise. But anyways.
In my opinion, you had your chance with Cassidy and you blew it.
Right, so what does he want?
Maybe he wants to spill the beans about where the missing bodies are buried. So you're gonna have to do the right thing for a change.
I have no interest in seeing it. It's got 6.2 on IMDb. So I thought I'd read some user reviews just so you guys can make up your own mind. I don't want to see this film. Right from the start, it feels like it's been a disaster. Like they did this weird thing in No Way Home where like it was just rubbish. Like linking him into it. Like what a weird post-credit scene that was. What a letdown. Anyways, Venom, The Last Dance. So, Venom, The Last Dance. 7 out of 10. Made me tear up. My relationship with the Venom franchise has been rocky. I have a soft spot for the first one, absolutely love the second, and now we come to the trilogy's closer, and thankfully it's an improvement. Venom The Last Dance works best when its focus is on Eddie and Venom's story instead of trying to set up the future of the Sonyverse. If you didn't like the previous Venom films, this won't change your mind. It's still messy, but it still gets more right than its predecessors. This is easily the campiest and most mature of the bunch. It takes its time with the characters, letting us sit with them instead of rushing into the next action set piece. Still being PG-13, it manages to cram in a lot more gore than its predecessors. Or is it predecessors? I would say predecessors. The action is inventive and the humour hits its mark. It also doesn't shy away from getting personal and emotional. Eddie and Venom's relationship has never felt more genuine. I'll admit I teared up a few times by the end. Like, who tears up at films like this? Like, who? I'm sorry that I'm going off here. Tearing up? Like, come on. Like, you've already said you didn't mind the first one, you cast on the second one, and now you're tearing up? Doesn't make any sense to me, that. Some may be disappointed by the portrayal of Null, but personally, I loved it. He feels like an overlooming threat rather than a one-off villain, and the God of Darkness gets a Thanos-esque treatment he deserves. I'm sorry again. Like, Thanos-esque treatment that he deserves? This is making me interested. Now, don't get me wrong, the movie is still bad, technically speaking, but it's self-aware about that. Instead of being bad, it chooses to be fun bad and entertain you, and I respect that. Not every movie needs to be great. Sometimes being fun is enough. What a bullshit review. Alright, I'm finished. Even with the lows, I have always found a weird sense of comfort with this rendition of Venom. I have found myself caring more for these characters than maybe even the script intended. So I am happy to say that by the end, it does enough to justify this trilogy's existence, and to such an satisfying extent that I'd rather live in a world where the Venom movies exist than one where it doesn't. I think that he likes these films a lot more than he's letting on. Either that, or it doesn't make sense to me. I have a soft spot for the first one. Absolutely love the second. The third one's an improvement. It's not bad, it's fun bad. They're taking your money. Like, well, look, I've only got through one review, but they're taking his money. Whatever. It's fun bad. Let's find the next one. That was that one. Yeah. Here we are. 5 out of 10. Turn your brains off one last time. Venom The Last Dance is a messy buddy road trip in which you must turn your brains off again. Is it perfect? Nah, far from it. I think there are way too many storylines in here, and the main one got some potential, but it was wasted in typical Sony fashion. The Spider-Man 4 rumours have been blown out of proportion in my opinion, so temper your expectations. The duo between Eddie and Venom is as fun as always. I mean, Tom Hardy and the banter between them. I'm sorry, the banter between Hardy and himself is the best part of these movies. Hardy is doing the voice of Venom, in case you didn't know. The humour is there, but can't say I laughed all that much. Because most of the jokes are base level childish again. Right, let's just go back to the last paragraph. The duo between Eddie and Venom is as fun as always. I mean, Tom Hardy and the banter between them. I'm sorry, the banter between Hardy and himself is the best part of these movies. The humour is there, but can't say I laughed all that much. Because most of the jokes are base level childish again. It must be a bit more emotional as a whole, because supposedly it's the last time we see Venom. I hardly doubt. But it ends up kinda hollow. Null is there, I guess, but we'll see how and when they'll use him again. It's Sony after all. It's a popcorn movie that reminds me of the early 2000s comic book movies. The action in the third act is good for the most parts, and there are some funny moments here and there. Are there plot holes and some issues with the story? Yes, it's just another turn your brains off Sony movie again. There are 2 credit scenes. First one is kind of important, the second one not so much. I think that's somebody under conflict yet again. Okay, next one. 5 out of 10, one mediocre dance. It is genuinely impressive that Sony managed to make the most mediocre trilogy ever with such an iconic character. In terms of enjoyment, Eddie and Venom continue to be a delightfully fun duo. In this third movie, they are basically on a road trip that was relatively entertaining for the most part. The final act of the movie was also a pretty enjoyable CGI action fest with some emotional scenes. However, the story and script are still as flat as ever. The narrative feels very half-baked, with it feeling like a chain of things just randomly happening. Pointless characters that don't add much, jokes being thrown at you just to see which land. Rhys Evans and Chiwetel Ejiofor characters could have been played by anyone but feel purposely done because they knew fans recognise them from other Marvel projects. The villain Null looks cool but is just there to be teased for future projects. Overall, it is better than the second film, but just on par with the first. It is a mediocre final entry. Sony continues to disappoint with their universe, and we all know Venom is coming back somehow. Sorry, we all know Venom is coming back somehow. How do you know that? Like, where is that coming back? Like, The Last Dance tells me this is the end, and the reception of this character. Do people really want to see more of this, or do they want to see a different, more realistic to the comics, true to the comics type of Venom? I don't know. Anyways, I do worry for Spider-Man 4 and hope Sony don't mess that movie in any way. History's proven that they do. History's proven that they do. Keep producing shit. So I'm just going to leave that one there for now.
Turn on the AC. It's Angel Caruso.